see some delays westbound 94 right through the stadium interchange to about Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound on the Rock Freeway is slowing down from Highway 100 onto 894 northbound through the Hale. And then on southbound 41, it looks like we've got another crash there right about just south of Highway 145. The left shoulder is blocked with this, so we've got backups stretching back towards Main Street, Menominee Falls. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, a dense fog advisory until 9 a.m. Spotty sprinkles otherwise, cloudy, mild, a high of 46. It'll be cooler to the north and west. Then tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Again to the left, and there he goes again. Jacobs to the 30-yard line. Gain of 19 on that one. Jacobs inside, into the end zone. Wow. Opening drive, touchdown, Green Bay. 3rd and 4. Gino contracting pocket, he goes down.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Love looking inside, it is caught by Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs to the end zone. Packers back in the end zone. Love is 8 of 8 to start. Now going downfield towards Christian Watson. Brought it in, got the feet inbounds at the 25-yard line. Terrific gain of 35 to Watson, who's had a ton of big hits in the last month and a half. High snap, he's got it, pressure's coming, gets rid of it to the back of the end zone. That time it is intercepted by Valentine. And
this is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Brought down at the 14-yard line by Smith and Jigba. 3rd and 5. Love putting it up top, back of the end zone. Oh, did Dobbs catch that? What a catch, Romeo Dobbs! Touchdown, Green Bay! What a catch!
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Now live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Packers fans, 30-13, the final score yesterday. Packers over the Seahawks last night on Sunday Night Football. It is true. I was waiting all day for Sunday night. I was waiting all day. You know, the anxiety, the anticipation, just building, and you're watching these other games shake out over the course of the day, over the course of the week, and going, gosh, Packers, Seahawks could be a tough game. Man, they're playing really well. Geno Smith is playing well. The Seahawks seem to be on an upward trajectory. Can the Packers go into a hostile environment when one you know is one of the toughest places to play in the league because of the 12th man and the way that stadium captures the sound and keeps it in and reverbs it right back onto the field? And the answer is yes. Not only could they beat the Seahawks, and of course, Geno Smith going out with an injury had a little bit to do with that in the second half, but put up another 30-point game to improve their schedule to 10-4. And today, Gabe Neitzel, as we sit here and reflect on a game, on a win for the green and gold, I feel like despite not playing their best game, despite taking their foot off the gas, despite sitting there and maybe making us scratch our heads a little bit, particularly in the second half, I feel very good about this Green Bay Packers team headed into the final few games of the regular season and headed into the postseason because untapped potential. There is still an opportunity for this team to get better, to be better, to beat teams, and I feel like it's bubbling under the surface. It's right there. They just need to uncap it. They just need to uncork it. They can do it. I feel very optimistic that over the course of the next few regular season games and into a playoff run, they will show us the best version of themselves. Do you agree?
I don't. Look, last night was a good win. I'm not taking anything away. Going into Seattle, they haven't won there since 2008. Pro Brian Bulaga just kept getting reminded that he was 0-4 as a Packer in Seattle during Green Bay game day yesterday. And look, you put up 30 points on the road against a defense that had been playing really well. You dominated the first half. But because of what happened in the second half, I feel exactly the same about this team.
Which is what?
They're good. there are teams that are a lot better. When you take a look at the NFC right now, I think you have that upper echelon of now it's probably Philly on top because of the loss that Detroit had. But still, Philly's on top. Detroit's right there with them. Like, Minnesota's got to be up there. At some point, we just have to accept that maybe Minnesota's really good. And then there's kind of all these teams that have these blemishes and imperfections and haven't been playing as well as those teams, and the Packers just kind of fall in that group.
Ooh, speaking of blemishes, I can see on the YouTube stream the pimple patch I'm wearing here. I thought for sure it was going to blend right into the old skin, but
it did not.
I'm looking at the YouTube stream. Remember, you can always stream the show on YouTube, ESPN Milwaukee. It's a little more obvious than I was hoping, but I digress. You said blemish, and it was like the perfect symmetry of, ooh, pimple patch showing up on the stream. Awesome. Wore a lot of makeup over the last few days, just so you know. Like a lot of makeup on Wednesday, a lot of makeup on Thursday. Yeah, you wear the makeup and your skin can't breathe, and you get a little something on there, and
can you talk about where you were on Wednesday?
We will,
okay,
as the show goes on. I don't want to deviate too far.
I just wanted to make sure there was no, like, oh, you can't talk about it until, like, it comes out type of thing.
We can talk about it. I'll talk about it a little bit later in the show. Where Jen was. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego on Wednesday? So one thing I want to point to, Gabe, is the fast start. We had been critical about this team, talking about, like, hello, could you set the alarm maybe for an hour earlier, Packers? Why does it seem like it takes Jordan Love an entire half of football to start playing his best ball? Well, the Packers went out there, boom, right away. They took the ball, they wanted the ball, they go down and score. First two drives of the game were able to, and then they had the defensive stop. So on both sides of the ball, it was like, okay, this is the Packers team that we need to see, that we hope to see if they want to make a deep playoff run. You cannot be idle early. You cannot give away those drives. You have to put the ball in the end zone, or at least put the ball in the uprights. And Josh Jacobs, he gets better each week. Now, again, the criticism will be, why did they take their foot off the gas? Why all of a sudden, after what was working so well? And maybe I would argue, I felt like the game was in hand. As soon as Geno Smith went out, Gabe, I felt like this is a foregone conclusion. I'm sorry. It wasn't as soon as.
Yeah.
I allowed Sam Howell to show me something.
Well, I mean, he did score a touchdown and made it 23-13.
Yes, but before that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how many? I think he had like 24 total yards or something ridiculous like
he's
that.
5 of 14 for 24 yards.
24 yards. I had 24 yards this season on the football field that I was on this week. Okay, I had 24 yards. So it's all of those things that I really want to highlight and say we have been critical about the slow starts. They went out there and did that. The goal will be going forward to start putting those things together, to start putting together a fast start and not turning the ball over and sticking with the run and keeping your foot on the gas and. But we're not to the point yet, Gabe, where not doing that can hurt you because it hasn't yet. It could, but it hasn't yet.
It's hurt you to the point of you're going to be a wild card team. Like, there are 3 teams that are vying for, you know, the number 1 overall seed, the Vikings being one of them. The Packers are not in that conversation. So it's hurt you to the point of, not hurting you from keeping you out of the postseason, but it's made your path tougher because you haven't been able to put those things together. And look, I mean, you had the 7 sacks last night. Like, there are a lot of good things. But I just, and it's probably just one or the other if like, one of the 3 bad things doesn't happen. If Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love don't Matt Eberflus their way through that final drive in the second half, or the first half, I mean, they got lucky with the pass interference call. They got lucky to walk away from points. Although, even with the pass interference call, would have been nice if, you had an extra 10 seconds there to maybe take a shot at the end zone instead of settling for the field goal. So that stunk. If you didn't have the fumble by Jacobs, if you didn't go punt, fumble, punt, field goal, turnover on downs, like the way Jordan Love started great. Yes, fantastic. Finished 3 for 9. Finished 3 for 9. Like, you can't have a 3 for 9 stretch at all. You can't have those stretches anywhere. And if you just take away one of these, negative things that happened, you probably feel better. If the Edgerrin Cooper interception happens in the third quarter versus the fourth quarter, and you go in with 30 points into the fourth quarter, I understand taking your foot off the gas a little bit. But taking your foot off the gas in the third quarter and being as disjointed offensively as they were, Like, those things just cannot happen when you're playing better teams.
Yeah, Edgerrin Cooper, let's just take a moment to give him his flowers. Rookie linebacker who had missed the last 3 games with the hamstring injury. Finished with 5 tackles, a sack, 2 quarterback hits, 2 passes, defended, and for his first career interception, that according to Packers.com. And I will agree with you, but it was those sort of things. It was Edgerrin Cooper being back and making an impact. It was Quay Walker making an impact. It was...
We'll see if he can make an impact going forward.
Right, because he was injured in the game. We'll see how that shakes out. It was Romeo Doubs coming back from the concussion protocol when there was a point this week, Gabe, where I wasn't sure if he was going to. Yeah. Right? We had talked about, is he going to miss, I believe, a 3rd straight game? He was wearing the Guardian helmet. Obviously, he's trying to protect himself going forward. The drop in the end zone was the only incompletion through 3 quarters for Jordan Love. He was really, really good. So there were a lot of things to feel very confident about, to feel good about with this team. No one is going to play a perfect game in the NFL. So there are always going to be things where you're like, I wish I had that back. And I think, to your point, that stretch of game is probably one that Matt LaFleur is going to say, I wish I had it back. But when you can win the game against an NFC opponent who, in their own right, was still climbing in the division and still trying to make hay in the NFC, still trying to improve their postseason seed, I walk out of Seattle, of Lumen, feeling very good about it. I feel good because I still feel like, no, they didn't play perfect, and no, they haven't reached their full potential, but I see it there, and I'm confident that they can over the next few games.
But why would you... This is the same stuff we've been talking about all season. But I think this is just kind of who they are.
But wait a minute. Before yesterday's game, they were a team that started slow, that gave up possessions early on. Yesterday, they started fast. They capitalized on those possessions. So that improvement right there in that phase gives me optimism, gives me confidence that the things they focus on, they can get better at in the last few games, and then to the tune of a playoff run.
But then something else is going to fall off.
Maybe.
Because again, this is still the youngest team in the league. It's just so hard to get all of those things going in that right direction. It's just a young team that you can be really excited about for the future. And yeah, they've got some ping pong balls, as Chewy likes to say, in the tumbler, when you hit the playoffs. But I just don't know if this is going to be a team that fully realizes that potential this year. I think it's more of a team that's going to fully realize that potential next year.
800-990-3776. I am very optimistic and confident after yesterday's game, after seeing things that the Packers needed to work on and then were able to put together and do well on yesterday. Let's just focus right now specifically on the fast start, getting out there, putting points on the board early, sending a message, setting the tone. That's one thing that we had been critical of. That's one thing that they addressed. Reaction is rolling in on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line, 800-990-3776. John in the 414 says, another game where Matt LaFleur uses a challenge when there is no need to use the challenge. There was nothing to gain from using a challenge, only using a timeout. Why, oh, why, Gabe?
I think my favorite tweet about that came from our pal Justice Mosqueda from Acme Packing Company, saying that he believes that Matt LaFleur should have to use a 2-factor authentication system to throw the challenge flag.
Oh, like when I log into my Disney account, yes. It's like, are you really you? Yes. Or sending a code to your phone?
Correct.
Put the code in.
Because Matt LaFleur is now 0 for 6 on challenges this year.
I saw that. That is bad. They said 0 for 5, and then we were waiting, and then they went to break, and then they came back for break, and they sort of just slid it in there, didn't they? They sort of slid it into the broadcast. Well, they lost that challenge. Matt LaFleur 0 for 6.
We're just gonna move on. We're gonna pretend like this didn't happen.
800-990-3776. I'm worried though, Gabe, because you take so much joy and pleasure out of being a Packers fan. Mm-hmm. Born and raised here in Wisconsin, you have always supported and rooted for this team. You have an encyclopedic knowledge of this team. Is there something that you have seen in the history of the Packers that is making you feel like, look, they're a good team. They're not a great team. They're not going to get over the hump. They'll win a few games in the postseason, but ultimately they will lose and disappoint us again. Is there something that is making you feel that way?
But I don't think it's going to be disappoint us, because I look at this team very similar, and I've made the comparisons to some of the younger teams that Chewy was on and the steps that they had to take. Like last year, it stung, but it wasn't as disappointing when they lost to the 49ers, right? It just wasn't as disappointing. Like, you were right there in the game. You felt like you had the opportunity, but it's not like that went on the pantheon of, oh man, these losses really stink in the postseason. And I think that's kind of the way I feel about this team. Like, yeah, they've got opportunities, but I don't know if they are good enough to go represent the NFC in the Super Bowl unless some things break their way. So because it's still a young team that is growing, that is the youngest team in the NFL, I don't have these, oh man, Super Bowl or bust expectations for this team.
800-990-3776 reaction rolling in fast and furious on the YouTube page. Lots of people are watching the YouTube stream this morning. Jake says Love is on one. 20 of 27. Watson drop and Reed slips. He's in his Toyota-thon bag. We should look at the Toyota-thon numbers. Why do you sigh? Look at you. I can see it in your face. You rolled your eyes very dramatically. I saw the whites of your eyes there as I mentioned Toyota-thon.
Well, because Toyota-thon ends in January. If this thing is real, which I'm scary that it is, because the last 5 games during Toyota-thon, shout out to Will for putting these together for us, 79 of 115, 68.7% completion, 1,133 yards, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick, and almost a passer rating of 120.
And a partridge in a pear tree just for the season.
But, again, if he turns into a pumpkin after Toyota-thon, we need to start petitioning the fine folks over at Toyota that they need to extend Toyota-thon until the middle of February.
That's not a bad idea. We might be able to convince them that would benefit them as well as potentially the franchise in Green Bay. 800-990-3776. They won a tough game on the road against a playoff team in the Seattle Seahawks. They put up 30 points again, which, by the way, when they ask us for the predictions now, I never go under 30. I never go under 30 for this Packers team because they always consistently, it feels like, are putting up 30 points per game. So from now on, when they ask for our prediction, it will always be 30, 31, 32, 35 for the green and gold. Let's go out to Mo in Illinois. He agrees with Gabe that this Packers team is too inconsistent. Good morning, Mo.
Hi, good morning, guys. First off, happy Victory Monday. I want to make one thing clear. To win in this league is very difficult, especially a place like Seattle. So I'm still very excited with the Packers and happy that they were able to pull it off. But I do agree with Gabe because for so long we have been talking about the same thing, how this team is not putting together a consistent 4-quarter game. And, the first half looked fantastic, but then I guess why I'm still feeling a little concerned is because of the second half, the way they finished, in particular, Matt LaFleur. I love Matt LaFleur. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. But yesterday was pathetic, especially in the second half. I thought he called the game very scared. The Seahawks were going all out and trying to stop Josh Jacobs, and he didn't adjust to that. And you have, like you guys just mentioned, Toyota-thon Jordan Love, who has been on a tear lately, playing great. And it's like, use your quarterback. Use him. The guy could throw the ball. I mean, it's not illegal to call throwing plays or play actions under center. So I would say that's what really bugged me the most, especially that end of first half sequence where he just melted the clock. I'm not sure if he brought in Eberflus as a consultant this week because that was really, really bad. So I think this team does have untapped potential, but like Gabe said, you got the Lions and Eagles there who have shown you what they could do. So I'm looking for that Vikings game in 2 weeks. If the Packers could win that one, I have that game circled on my calendar. That'll show us a lot.
800-990-3776. Thanks for the call, Mo. Daniel the Sloth says, I'm still very optimistic. Did they play better than I thought yesterday? Yes, but they played one good half. That's all. And Cody in the 708 says, Jen, every team in the Packers tier thinks they have untapped potential. I agree with Gabe. Sometimes that potential doesn't get uncorked. Nobody's going to play a perfect game. There are no perfect games, perfect passer ratings. Every time you blitz, you get to the quarterback. Every time you go up for a 50-50 ball, you either intercept. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect game. So to me, I'm seeing a lot of good things from this Green Bay Packers team. And I do think they took their foot off the gas when Geno Smith went out. I know you're going to say, well, it's the end of the first half. Geno Smith wasn't out yet. I think they took their foot off the gas a little bit. I think they were content with accepting that it was a foregone conclusion. They would win that game so long as Sam Howell was under center for the Seahawks. And I think they were like, pack it up, pack it in, get back to Green Bay with a win. I did not expect that to rhyme, but it did. 800-990-3776. Lots of reaction rolling in. Some people frustrated with Gabe. I am seeing Johnny Raincloud on the talk and text line. Let's talk to Jason Wilde. He's coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Ask Jason Wilde what he thinks about what he saw from the Green and Gold last night on a Victory Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We do have a crash now on southbound 41, just about at Highway 145, backup stretch all the way back to Main Street in Menominee Falls. Another accident on northbound, basically on the ramp from Howard Avenue to northbound 794. So watch out for the delays through St. Francis there. The rest of the system's actually looking pretty good. I'm not really seeing any delays right now. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, dense fog advisory until 9. Spotty sprinkles otherwise. Cloudy and mild, a high of 46. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret for Mentality Men's Health. Guys, I know you hate to feel weak. That means something different for every guy, but for most guys, it means the way they look and move through their day. Did you know that 70% of Mentality clients see an increase in their muscle mass, their muscle tone, and the way they look? This means our clients got their confidence back. If you're looking to look and feel the way you did years ago, join the over 25,000 guys at Mentality and get your confidence back. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Rick, describe some of our Wilde Christmas gifts while Sarah and I name the prices and add a little commentary.
Okay. A 1.5 carat total weight diamond bolo bracelet.
Amazingly unique. Just $1,598.
Half carat total weight inside outside diamond hoop earrings.
Just $698.
1 carat total weight is just $898.
A fabulous 3 carat oval created diamond.
But we only have a few of these.
Just $3,998.
A 1 carat total weight created diamond tennis bracelet.
Just $898.
We also have the big 1 carat total weight natural diamond tennis bracelet for just $1,798.
And from now until Christmas, we have 18 months same as cash financing.
With approved credit.
And a delightful gift for you with every purchase of at least $300.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 200 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states and is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Ready, down, hunt.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Wilde on a Monday. Changing it up a little here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning, Jason. How are you doing today?
Playing the role of Rob Domofsky on today's edition of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy will be Jason Wilde.
That was a very good narration. That was very good.
I try.
I was thinking about you. I was thinking about you yesterday because we went to the Nutcracker. And I was like, oh, yeah, Maddie Wilde has done the Nutcracker. I know she has. I don't think she's doing it this year, right, Jason? She was dealing with some injuries. Is that correct?
Well, so not that everyone's interested in Maddie's career trajectory, but
don't
I'm going to
care.
share it anyway. So she was actually selected for their academy program, which is one step below being a professional ballet dancer. And it would have required us, instead of being down there 3 nights a week, 5 nights a week. And she's a freshman this year, and she made a very grown-up decision that her father would not have been able to do. And that was, I want to be a regular high schooler, and I'm going to give this up, even though I have a passion for it. And maybe I'll come back to it, maybe I won't. But I think I'm going through more Nutcracker withdrawal than her. So she's really happy, and I miss going down there and getting all gussied up and heading down to the Marcus Center and seeing Michael Pink's production. So she's extremely happy, which is obviously the most important thing to me.
Love that, Jason, and I appreciate that update, even though you were reluctant to share. I love hearing those little nuggets and tidbits from the Wilde household. All right, let's get to the green and gold. So I am optimistic still that this Packers team, which put up 30 points on a conference rival in a very tough place to play, albeit a team that lost its starting quarterback in the game and was resigned to using Sam Howell, which 24 yards. Wow. I'm still confident that this team's untapped potential will be uncorked over the remaining regular season games and postseason games. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. I think there's certainly reasons for optimism, right? Now, if you want to ding them and continue if you're inclined to be this way, there's certainly stuff to work with, right? I mean, that offensive line had been struggling, and then they lose the center who, as you heard Chris Collinsworth talk about, had kind of been the steadying force during their 4-game winning streak. They lose him early in the game. They're playing an undrafted free agent in his place. Sam Howell, how bad he was, certainly helps.
I saw
right?
somebody call him No-Well. Instead of H-O, it was N-O.
Yeah, he was not great, Bob. But I thought it was a complete performance. I thought they went in there and did exactly what they wanted to do. I mean, they took control of the game from the jump, and before you could get to the second commercial break, it was 14-0. So, Gabe and I and John Anderson and Brian Bulaga and Strofe were talking about this on Green Bay game day pregame. Like, all the talk about not having a signature win or a defining win, this is a defining win. Not only did they show what they're capable of, but now, like, if the season ended today, they also knocked the Seahawks out of the playoffs. So I just think that this is exactly what you were hoping they would do. I understand there were some second half, offensive lulls.
So punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt, downs, that's a complete game?
Wait, you know what you sound like when you say that? Did you ever see that clip with Timothy Chalamet when he's doing the rap on SNL? And he's like, cling, 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 water, hold up, splash. You ever see that? Darn, we'll have to find that. Okay, sorry. Can you repeat it again?
Punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt, downs.
Yeah.
That's what they did. That's what they did in the second half.
Are you overtired, or are you just super critical?
No, I'm just, Jason, I don't feel better or worse about this team. I feel the same. I don't think that they're among the elite teams in the NFC. I think they're a very good team. They'll have an opportunity to beat, some of these teams. But I put them in the same category as I bet Tampa Bay is saying the same things about their team this morning. I think the Rams are saying the same thing about their team this morning. And those are the teams that they're going to have to play. Like, the first half was spectacular until you got to the end of the first half and Matt Eberflus his way through time management. But
yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, again, there was things that were bad about it, Jason, and these are the things that if you think they are a Super Bowl caliber team, these are the things that are going to prevent you from being a Super Bowl caliber team. So if we're going to have Super Bowl caliber expectations, then I have to be that critical of it.
Yeah, I don't have Super Bowl caliber expectations. No, like I've been saying from the beginning of training camp, and I thought they were a year away.
Yeah,
and I still
I'm right there
believe
with
that.
you. I'm 100% there with you. Like, I think that so this potential that you and Jen are talking about, I think that because they're the youngest team in the league, you have things like this happen. You have Jordan Love start whatever he was, 17 of 18, and then finish 3 for 9. Right? Like, you're going to have those inconsistencies when you're the youngest team in the league, and that's why I think that the potential that's bubbling under the surface, I don't know if that gets realized in 2024. I think it gets realized in 2025.
Yeah, I think, all right, let me take a deep breath for a second. I think you and I think more alike than initially revealed by the punt, field goal, fumble, whatever that was.
Punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt downs.
But I would also say this. I think when you look at what they did defensively, even when Geno Smith was still in the game, when you look at what they did offensively in the first half, when you look at what they did kind of close things out when things got a little interesting because of the punt, fumble, field goal, whatever that was again. I'm not going to ask you to repeat it again. I thought that they played at a level that they needed to show me that they're not a Super Bowl contender, but a legit playoff team that hasn't just gotten fat on arguably two of the worst divisions in football, right? Mm-hmm. They swept the AFC South and they swept the NFC West, right?
Correct.
And so that's 8 wins out of their 10. So again, do I think that they are going to win Super Bowl 59? I do not. But you know what also stops Super Bowl teams? Overly aggressive head coaches who try onside kicks. Dysfunction on the sideline where a defensive line coach is telling the head coach he can't talk to one of his players or whatever the hell that was that the Eagles had going on yesterday. Like, everyone is flawed. Who is best able to overcome their flaws? I don't think that the Packers are completely incapable of winning a couple of playoff games and getting to an NFC championship game. But if you're asking me, can they beat, Tampa Bay or the Rams? I think they can. I'm not going to predict that they're going to, though.
Yeah.
Because you're right. They're in the same. We were talking yesterday. I kind of said about the tiers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Philly and Detroit are tier 1. I think Minnesota is like tier 2A, and then tier 2B is Packers, Buccaneers, Rams, maybe the Seahawks. Like, they are definitely a notch below the two teams that are clearly better than them. And could they go on a 3-game run where they beat either the Rams or the Buccaneers, then they beat the Lions, and then they beat the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl? I don't think they can. But I never put that as my expectation to begin with.
Well, and I think also, Jason, like, they've lost to the top tier teams, right? The 4 losses this season are to the Eagles, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Lions. They lost to the Eagles by 5. They lost to the Vikings by 4. They lost to the Lions the 10-point game, which, was earlier in week 9. And then they lost by 3 points to the Lions. They are right there. And I said to Gabe, the fact that we were critical about their slow starts and why can't Jordan Love just start the game on fire? Why does it take him a whole half to warm up? And they went out there last night and it was almost like they focused on that, maybe exclusively, but to the point of they knew they needed to start fast. They went out there, started fast. That to me shows they have the potential and capability to address the things that have plagued them. Now it's a matter of just putting them all together. That is what is giving me optimism that this team can not only hang with the top teams, but can beat the top teams in the NFC. That's where I am this morning.
Yeah, and do I think that they could win one of those games? Could they beat the Lions on any given Sunday in the playoffs or beat the Eagles? Absolutely. Do I think they can beat them both and win a first-round game? No, I don't think they're there yet. And you know what? That's okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
But they are definitely headed in a much better direction than when they were eking out a win against the Bears and their dysfunctional operation. And you look back at, and again, I understand, like, I'm not here to be Mary Sunshine I'm not here to be Debbie Downer, but look, there's plenty to ding them for still, including the fact that they have 40 sacks on the season now, and 15 of them have come in two games.
So that's what I want to ask you about, Jason. So 7 sacks last night. Is that more like the aberration that the 8-sack game against the Titans was, or is that defensive front starting to turn a corner?
Yes. Right? Like it can be both. And here's the other thing, right? Because look, Sam Howell, who only old people like me were thinking about Thurston Howell III on Gilligan's Island, but he helped the Packers pass rush, and the Packers clearly smelled blood in the water and got after him in an enormous way, right? Like once Geno Smith left the game, you could do your punt, field goal, fumble, punt, whatever that routine was. They weren't going to lose then, right? Even when they cut it to 23-13 after the fumble by Jacobs, like they were not in true danger there. But I thought we saw some things from Jeff Hafley, and LaFleur made a comment after the game. One of the things that I really like about Jeff Hafley, he's not infallible. He is not the second coming of Fritz Shermer. But I love the fact that when something isn't working, he figures out something else to do. Because under the last administration, it was, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing and hope it starts working, right? And he does not do that. Like, he has definitely he did not send 5 constantly last night. He stuck to his simulated pressure, sent 3, and then some other rando as the 4th rusher, but it worked. They obviously need Edgerrin Cooper more than even I realized, because he was a field-tilting player last night. But, again, I think the pieces are there for them to be a good defense. Are they a great defense? No, but it would appear, based on what I saw with Rams-Bills last week and Lions-Bills this week, that you can be pretty competitive with the top teams in the conference if you can score points and you can get a handful of stops. And that would be where your routine about their empty possessions or their non-touchdown possessions would be very valid. Because if they have to get into a shootout, if they play the Rams in their playoff opener, if they play the Lions at some point down the road, that's where are they capable of going points for points. And they kind of did it against Detroit, but as we talked about after that game, they had 3 empty possessions to start the game, and that turned out being the difference in the game.
Matt LaFleur saying it felt disjointed in the second half. There were opportunities that they didn't capitalize on. Some of it was execution, and some of it was terrible play calling, sort of putting the spotlight on himself. Before we let you go, Jason, I do want to introduce you to, I do want to give you the opportunity to hear the Timothy Chalamet clip that I was talking about earlier. And what we're going to try to do is put Gabe's thing, punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, field goal.
That's not my thing.
I know, but you did bring it up. So here, Will has found the Timothy Chalamet song from Saturday Night Live. Go ahead and play it for us, Will.
Clean, clean, clean. Man, you capping.
Punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, punt. Here we go. Punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, field goal.
Water, splash, splash, drip, water.
And at the end of there, one of the other characters bends Timothy Chalamet over and spanks him for that performance. So he was...
Ooh, is that coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy?
You have the cameras in the studio, I suppose.
Punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, field goal, right? You hear what I'm saying there, right? When he's doing drip, drip, water, splash, splash, water, drip, drip. Well, Mary Sunshine joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy to go along with Johnny Raincloud. We've got quite the cast of characters here this morning. Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us. We will talk to you again soon.
Thanks for having me. Take care. Be good.
That was excellent. That's fantastic.
It is a Victory Monday. It's brought to you by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Delicious brands like Connie's Urban Pie, Screamin' Sicilian. Palermo's has your game day covered. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, southbound On 41, we've got a crash. This is right about at Highway 145, and it's off on the left shoulder. So things are going to start to slow down from almost the county line from Highway Q. So careful with that. We've also got an accident on the ramp from Howard Avenue to 794 northbound. I'm not seeing too many delays involved with that one. Just something to keep in mind. Eastbound 94 packing in just a little bit between 84th Street and 68th. And then on the westbound side, it's actually pretty clear all the way from the Marquette all the way into Waukesha County. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, dense fog advisory until 9. Spotty sprinkles, otherwise cloudy and mild, high of 46. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BIKE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BIKE to 321-321. That's BIKE to 321-321.
Ring in 2025 at American Place Casino. Join us for the Oztacular Countdown featuring $50,000 promotional drawings, merchandise giveaways, live entertainment, and more. They say seeing is believing, and at American Place Casino, you'll believe you found a real game changer. From table games to the hottest slots, plus dining, bars, and more, we've got it all. This New Year's Eve, let the celebration begin. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Hey guys, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to give you some advice. If you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center has to be your stop for the ring. It's what I did. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. I didn't know what to get, but with help of a Pinterest board, the Jewelry Center and their team of specialists took care of everything from start to finish. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Find locations and inventory online at shoptjc.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Deep in the hidden wetlands of Florida, there's a honey so rare, it's only harvested 2 weeks out of the year. Tupelo honey, the gold standard of honey, specially bottled by Smiley Honey.
Here's why Tupelo honey is so special. It never crystallizes. It's diabetic friendly with a low glycemic index. Pure, unfiltered, and natural. Straight from the hive to your table.
Tupelo honey from Smiley Honey, the gold standard of honey.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What was a rebound? What did you just say?
Robust.
Robust.
You could say robust. Doesn't robust sound like a nice word of saying just a click below fat?
No, buddy, you're not fat.
Well,
you're
there's
rebound.
Well, Charles Barkley.
There's another
A round mound of rebound.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Love is 8 of 8 to start. Now going downfield towards Christian Watson. Brought it in, got the feet inbounds at the 25-yard line. Terrific gain of 35 to Watson, who's had a ton of big hits in the last month and a half.
There was a long stretch of yesterday's game where the only incompletion was that pass to Romeo Doubs in the end zone. Probably should have been a catch, should have been a touchdown. And Jordan Love was cooking. But he finished the game 20 of 27, and there is this sentiment of taking the foot off the gas. Doesn't bother me. I feel like as soon as the starting quarterback went out, it was like, just get out of Dodge. You got the win. But, Gabe, it got too close for comfort for you. Is that right?
Yeah, 23-13. You turn the ball over once. Okay, you turn it over again. They show they can capitalize. Next thing you know, it's 23-20.
We were playing a game at our house where we were trying to guess how many yards the Seahawks would get on each individual drive. Dario guessed -3. And he won on one of the drives. That's how futile the offense was with Sam Howell under center. He went 5 of 14 for 24. That's right, 24 yards. If you had to guess what his quarterback rating was.
Oh, I already know.
You do. You got the box score there in front of you?
Yeah, I was looking this morning.
3.3.
Yeah, that was the QBR, yes.
Yes, and then his passer rating was 14.6.
Correct. That catch by Christian Watson that we just heard the highlight from, that was the best catch of his career.
It was great.
That was the best catch of his career. For somebody that we have been critical of body control and 50-50 balls, and he can't really do anything but run straight, to be able to flip his body the way he did to make that catch and get both feet down, that was spectacular.
Well, and then later in the game, guys, when he took that big hit, right? There was a stretch
I was very nervous after he took the big hit.
As you should have been because of what we have seen from Christian Watson. But he takes that big hit, boom! And I was like, oh no.
How many injuries is he going to be listed with?
How many games is he going to miss? And it was like, boom, popped right back up, and that's where I was like, okay, again, there's an evolution. There is progress. This team is getting better. I feel very good about their ability to hang with these top tier teams. Now, we're going to get to this, so I don't want to uncork the whole thing, but there's a big game tonight. There's a big game tonight, Monday Night Football in the division, Vikings versus Bears. Are we all in agreement? Gabe and intern Will, who's handling the board today, are we all in agreement that we are rooting for the Bears? Are we rooting for the Bears?
Yes.
Today?
We don't have to say it out loud.
I'm a Bears
That's why
fan.
I keep whispering it.
We could just say, hey,
we're not rooting for the Vikings.
Correct.
How's that?
Thank you. I was about to say, there's got to be a better way we can put this. We are not rooting for the Vikings tonight. We're rooting for the Vikings to lose tonight. That's what we are doing. The Vikings should lose.
Now,
that's what we want.
Just out of curiosity and just for logistics, who would they lose to if they were to lose?
Doesn't matter.
The other team.
The other team.
The other team suiting up.
Whomever they happen to be playing.
Whomever the Vikings are playing tonight. This is weird, strange bedfellows sort of thing this time of year when you are jostling for seeding in the conference and you need the Vikings to lose and they happen to be playing the Bears tonight. You are rooting for Chicago to fall into a win, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where we find ourselves. Because, right now, as odd as it is, the Packers are closer to the 7 seed than they are the 5 seed right now. And they're 2 games behind the Minnesota Vikings. And they are just 1 game ahead of the Washington Commanders. They're closer to 7 than they are 5.
Yeah, need help.
Yeah, if you want to get to the 5 seed. Now, look, right now, if it ends up being Tampa Bay or the Rams, it doesn't really matter if you're 5-6. I kind of look at those teams in a similar light.
Interestingly, I saw Mike Golick Jr. on his show with Mike Golick saying that he thinks the Rams are the team that no one in the NFC wants to play because of how they have been playing recently, sort of clicking, if you will. Tampa Bay, though, they look very formidable right now. If you had to pick between those 2 games for the Packers to face, who would you prefer?
I think the Rams. I think I'd rather see the Rams.
Not very convicted.
No, because the Bucs put up 500 yards of offense yesterday. Baker Mayfield is playing. You want to talk about Jordan Love playing? Well, Baker Mayfield's been kind of doing some of the same stuff. They've won their last handful of games in a row, and I did just see, maybe it's recency bias, seeing the Rams struggle the way they did on Thursday night against the 49ers and not really be able to get the ball into the end zone. Granted, they were coming off of a 44-point performance against what many people think is the best team in the NFL in the Buffalo Bills, but I look at those 2 teams very similar, that they are very dangerous offensively when their quarterbacks are in there. And Baker's been playing great. Stafford's been great when Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are both healthy. Both those teams, I think, again, I put those in the Packers category of either one of them over the last 3 weeks could earn that title of hot team that nobody wants to play.
And I think the Packers, again, I don't want to race past what you just said. The Packers are one of those teams. When I heard Mike Golick Jr. say that the Rams are the team in the NFC that nobody wants to face, I was like, hold up. what about the Packers? Because again, I think that watching what they did last season late in the year and were able to string together those really impressive victories, I think this team is better. Again, I think there's an upgrade at the running back position in Josh Jacobs over Aaron Jones, even though Aaron Jones had an otherworldly end of the season last year. Jordan Love has another year of experience under his belt. That means he's not going to be making some of those mistakes that we have seen from him in the beginning half of the season. And let's take a moment to give him his flowers, guys. He has not. He has not been making the decision, the scratch your head decisions on the field. He has not been turning the ball over. He has not been wild, abandoned throw. Although there was one time where I was like, throw the ball, Jordan. Get rid of the ball, please. So he has shown me that improvement. He has shown me that evolution that I want from my quarterback as the season goes on. I don't need them to be perfect yesterday in week whatever. What week are we in? 15, 16, 12, 11, 10. What are we in?
Last night was week 15.
Thank you. Week 15. I actually got it right then. Right? Did I say 15?
I have no idea. You said about 7 numbers.
That's true.
You just chewied your way through the situation. One of them hit, and you're like,
I win.
I got it right.
Why do you win? I had a hand just like that. Yes. So week 15, I don't need them to be perfect in week 15. I need them to learn from the mistakes they make. The punt, fumble, punt, field goal, Timothy Chalamet, and not duplicate that against one of the last couple of teams they're facing in the regular season. That's what I need from the Green Bay Packers as they go on. It's more of a growth mindset than a why aren't you perfect in week 15 for me.
Yeah, look, if they were to go on the road right now, I don't think they're favored against the Buccaneers or Rams. I mean, they weren't favored last year against the Cowboys, so take that for what you will. But I felt and they've got the opportunity to change that narrative. I felt they were more of that team that nobody wanted to play last year than they are this year. They've got the chance over the next 3 games to prove that wrong. And the biggest one that they'll have that opportunity is against the Vikings. If you go out there and play the way you did yesterday in the second half, you're not beating the Vikings. If you play the way you did even against the Lions, you're probably not beating the Vikings. You have to take it up another notch, which they have not shown that they are capable yet of.
I will tell you this. We got folks weighing in on the YouTube stream. Remember, you can always watch the show on YouTube saying, nope, not rooting for the Bears. Can't do it. Won't do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're rooting for the Vikings to lose. That's all we're doing.
No, you're rooting for an asteroid is what you're doing.
For the Vikings to lose.
You're rooting for the meteor is what you're doing. Sean in particular saying, nope, can't do it, not there yet. And then I have somebody reminding me, or informing me rather, on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. He famously is no longer intern Will. That from Justin in Middleton. Did I miss a promotion? Did this happen while I was gone?
I mean, it's been in the works, part-time Will.
So now he's part-time Will instead of intern
Yes.
Will. Hey, congratulations. That's amazing. Fantastic news. Very happy to hear that. All right.
Appreciate it.
So we can't call you intern Will anymore is what you're telling me?
You can if you want. My mom always asks me, she's like, what are they going to call you now? I'm like, I don't know. It might just stick with intern Will. It's too complicated.
Part-time Will?
Intern Will forever.
Yeah, that's what everyone knows.
Do you know the song? I know you're very young, but do you know the song Part-Time Lover?
I do not.
Well, when you called him part-time Will, that's immediately where my brain went. So maybe we could bring that back from break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll see if we can find that for you. 800-990-3776. Are you rooting for the Chicago Bears tonight in their game against... That was to the listeners, Gabe.
Well, no, I'm just letting you know what the answer is.
That was to the loyal
I'm letting them know that you don't have to root for the Bears. You just have to root for the Vikings to lose.
800-990-3776. We'll take a break. Be right back after this.
Fellas, listen up. We all know some of the best holiday gifts you can give is jewelry, especially from the Jewelry Center. Gold necklaces, naturally mined or lab-grown diamonds for earrings, and, of course, engagement rings. And when I want to give a memorable gift, of course, I'm going to visit my friends, Dean the Dancing Machine, at the Jewelry Center and take advantage of their deals. And right now, they've got a deal that even Santa can't beat. You can win a $2,000 shopping spree. Yeah, I didn't stutter. That's right. $2,000 shopping spree to the Jewelry Center by just registering online. That's right. $2,000 can be yours. Just register now through December 23rd at ESPNWisconsinContests.com for that $2,000 shopping spree to our friends at the Jewelry Center.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Winter is here. Don't let your car care take a backseat. Protect your car against rust, salt, and grime this season at Tsunami Express Car Wash. Tsunami Express makes cleanup a breeze with their state-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and convenient unlimited wash memberships. Try their new best-in-class T2 with graphene wash for the ultimate long-lasting shine and protection. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. 'Tis the season for celebrating at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Join them this holiday season for special events to get you in the festive mood. From a spectacular brunch with Santa to the holiday marketplace and one-of-a-kind dinner and a show experiences, St. Kate has a celebration happening nearly every week through the holiday season. Make a night of it and extend the experience by booking an overnight stay at St. Kate. Special packages are now available. Celebrate the holidays with St. Kate. Learn more by visiting stkatearts.com/holidays.
This time of year can be really tough on a number of areas in your home. If you're struggling with any electrical issues, the superheroes at Current Electric are ready to help you. Chuck Smith is a Brookfield Central grad who started Current Electric over 40 years ago. His mission was to serve our community with integrity and quality. Whether it's as small as a switch repair or as large as rewiring your entire home, to a generator to keep your lights on, or even interest in solar energy, call on the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com. That's callcurrent.com.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and sauté. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Wallace. Right now at Universal Windows Direct, get 0% financing for 60 months, restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Do you like your pickles warm or cold?
Want my pickle a little warm.
Warm's good.
It's better than cold.
Cold
You
can
got
be
shrinkage.
good, too.
Yeah, well, no,
Cold
shrinkage
can
gets
be good.
involved. It's not great.
On 94.5 ESPN. A standout performance.
Love to the end zone. Watson spins his way for the touchdown.
A player who energized the team.
He goes to the air. It's intercepted. Jair Alexander high-stepping for 6.
It's time for the Current Electric Superhero MVP of the game on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
He's put it in the air this time. It is through there to Wicks and a touchdown.
Whether it's as small as a switch repair or as big as a whole home rewiring or even a generator to keep your lights on, call the superheroes from Current Electric. Go to callcurrent.com.
3rd and 4. Gino contracting pocket. He goes down. Edgerrin Cooper, who's been out of the lineup, comes back in and shows some of the talent.
That's right, Edgerrin Cooper, our current electric superhero of the game. 7 tackles, including a sack, 2 tackles for a loss, a couple passes defended, a couple quarterback hits, and an interception for Edgerrin Cooper, who's the current electric superhero MVP of the game.
So, one of the other things that we should discuss as the morning goes on is the pass rush, Gabe, because that is something you have been very critical of. And as we talk about the improvements and the progress that we are seeing from this version of the Green Bay Packers team, you cannot ignore the pass rush and their ability to, and it was not just Sam Howell, who is a shell of an NFL quarterback. It was when Geno Smith was in there as well. Were you impressed or pleased with the way the pass rush was getting home last night?
I mean, you can't help but be impressed. I mean, you walk away with 7 sacks and the pressure rate and the quarterback hits and everything that they did, especially factoring that they only had 3 quarterback hits of Jared Goff 11 days ago. That's great. But again, because you only had 3 against Goff 11 days ago, like they have to go out there and get 7 sacks every game from here on out. But you need to show me a little bit more consistency. You can't have the 1 sack, 3 QB hit, barely pressuring Jared Goff game and then follow it up with this and then have another one. This, show me that you're turning the corner. This is encouraging. But again, you had a game like this before, earlier in the season against Tennessee, and then a huge lull in the middle of the season. That can't happen again. You have to take this momentum that you have, and you have to capitalize on it, and you have to continue to get pressure on the quarterback, whether it's New Orleans, whether it's Chicago, or whether it's against Minnesota in a couple weeks.
Let's hear from Matt LaFleur, who talked about his defense getting pressure on the QB last night.
I think that's the plan every week, right? It's just whether or not you're able to go out there and do it. Yeah, obviously, we're always trying to get pressure on the quarterback. That's the number one way to disrupt anything on offense. So, but our D-line came to play, and they did a hell of a job and just got constant pressure. And you never want to see a guy like that go down. I got a lot of respect for Geno and just watching him through his career, how he's reinvented himself, and he's playing really good football. I mean, you're not the second-rate passing leader in this game for no reason. I mean, they got a lot of good players over there, and he does a great job. So hate to see it for him and for them to go down. We never want to see that, and it's unfortunate, but that is part of our game.
And I think the other thing that it does is it adds momentum, right? Like sometimes you need a game like that and the stretch like this to show that you can do it. Because when there are doubters and detractors and all of this criticism of like, wow, the pass rush has really underperformed this season, you have a game like this and you go, oh, yeah, you know, they lost their starting center in Oluwatimi, which is so fun to say, by the way. Just is. And that obviously is going to make them less formidable, but you got to take advantage of it. And I think that's what you were saying is your frustration was when Geno Smith went out and Sam Howell steps in. You got to take advantage of that situation because you can still build momentum. You can still build confidence. You can take that into these tougher opponents and into a playoff run.
Yeah, and that's what they did. When a center goes out like that, and now you're facing an offensive line that's less than, take advantage. It's what they've done all season in these games. That's what they did. They were better than the Seahawks last night. They take advantage. You don't have to apologize for beating the Dolphins or the Cardinals. That's what you're supposed to do against teams you're better than. When you are going up against an inferior offensive line, whether it's because of injury or not, you take advantage of that. Now, hopefully, that you're comfortable enough, oh, hey, this works, now I can try this, or I can do this. And hopefully that kind of builds off of what this team did. Because to Jason's point earlier, it's not like they were blitzing a ton. They simulated the pressure, backed out of it, and had guys rush from different angles. They've done that this season, and that certainly helped. But if you can get pressure with 4, that is what makes, more than anything else, if you can get pressure with 4, what makes a Super Bowl run possible. It makes it easier to go on the road and win 3 straight games if you can get pressure with 4. It opens up so many things for your defense.
We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Second hour of the show rolls on right after this.
Earlier accident on 41 southbound, just about at Highway 145, has been cleared out of the way. We do still have delays stretching all the way back to Main Street, so watch out for that. More delays then from Silver Spring down past Capitol Drive. We've got eastbound 94 slowing down from Highway 16 to Highway 164, and then again from Springdale Road all the way through to about Calhoun. And then more delays from 84th Street through to 35th. The westbound side is going to be a bit backed up from about 16th Street to about Holly Road. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, dense fog advisory until 9, spotty sprinkles otherwise, cloudy and mild, a high of 46. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
College hockey returns to Fiserv Forum with the 4th annual Quick Trip Holiday Face-Off, December 28th and 29th.
The Wisconsin Badgers return to defend their title, facing the Ferris State Bulldogs in semifinal action on day 1. The Yukon Huskies and Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks will battle for the other spot in the championship game.
Don't miss the college hockey action coming to Milwaukee and see who wins the championship on day 2. Secure your seats today at Ticketmaster.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I've got you covered. It's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee, and with holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust AccuTrans Group to handle all of my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or festive celebration, AccuTrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Again to the left, and there he goes again. Jacobs to the 30-yard line. Gain of 19 on that one. Jacobs inside, into the end zone. Opening drive, touchdown, Green Bay. 3rd and 4. Gino contracting pocket, he goes down.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Love looking inside, it is caught by Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs to the end zone. Packers back in the end zone. Love is 8 of 8 to start. Now going downfield towards Christian Watson. Brought it in, got the feet inbounds at the 25-yard line. Terrific gain of 35 to Watson, who's had a ton of big hits in the last month and a half. High snap, he's got it, pressure's coming, gets rid of it to the back of the end zone. That time it is intercepted by Valentine. And
this is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Brought down at the 14-yard line by Smith and Jigba. 3rd and 5. Love putting it up top, back of the end zone. Oh, did Dobbs catch that? What a catch, Romeo Dobbs! Touchdown, Green Bay! What a catch!
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Now live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
And it is a Victory Monday. It's brought to you by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. With delicious brands like Palermo's, Connie's Urban Pie, and Screamin' Sicilian, Palermo's has your game day covered. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer.
One of my favorite moments in yesterday's game against the Seattle Seahawks, well, I suppose it was the waning moments of the game against the Seattle Seahawks, was when you could hear Go Pack Go on the broadcast from the Packers fans, who always travel well and are situated all over the globe, at the opposing team's stadium. It's a great feather in the cap for the Packers fans as the Packers get the victory yesterday. And we are debating this morning whether or not that is the signature win that we have been clamoring for and hoping for this team. I am very optimistic that what we have seen from the Packers, the progress that they have made, the focus on things that have plagued them in the weeks leading up to this, bodes very well for this team to make a postseason run, a deep postseason run. And the fact that they have only lost by minimal margins, by the way, to some of the top teams in the NFC lets me believe they are a top team in the NFC. Now, Chewy has said, and he is not here today, but he has said they can beat anybody. And I'm inclined to believe that. I'm inclined to agree with him on that. They can beat anybody. The question will be, can they string together a number of wins? This stretch that you've seen them on, the Miami, the 49ers, the Seattle, good-ish teams. 49ers have been banged up, obviously. They're a shell of their former selves. But Seattle's a good team. They're a playoff team. Losing their starting quarterback in the game obviously changes the dynamic of that team, the strength of that team. But the Packers get out of there with a victory, and it feels to me like they continue, to quote Mike McCarthy, stacking success, Gabe. And that's why I feel optimistic and pleased this morning with, for the most part, what we saw from the Green Bay Packers last night. You are a little more like the things that I didn't like have the potential to bite them in the butt. Going forward.
Absolutely, because I just don't feel any different about this team. Yes, it's a good win.
Wait,
It's
you
probably their best
learned
win.
nothing about them last night? You
No.
learned nothing?
No. I mean,
even the fast start.
Do it again. Do it again. Like that's because that's what you have to do. Yeah, it's great. It's great they got off to a fast start in Dallas last year. Didn't really help against San Francisco. The mistakes that they made throughout the course of the season bit them when they played San Fran last year. And they continued to make some of those mistakes last night. You cannot take your foot off the gas. Like, this is still a playoff team. It is still a good team. But I don't feel any more confident about them going on a deep run. And I don't know if they can beat anybody. They can play with anyone.
What do you mean? What's the distinction? I don't understand. What's the distinction? You don't think that they can play with anyone, but they can't beat anyone?
Correct.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to take the field. You mean play like make it competitive?
Correct. They haven't basically and I know that the point spreads were a little bit different earlier in the year because we didn't know what Malik Willis was, but throw that aside. Basically, every game that Jordan Love has been in, they've lost what they were supposed to lose, and they've won what they've supposed to win. So if you go on the road as an underdog, like, they haven't proven that they can beat the teams that are better than them. Like, they haven't gone on the road, hey, this team's better than you, go beat them. Or even at home against the Vikings and against the Lions. They weren't able to get that done. Now, they'll have that opportunity, certainly, in 2 weeks against the Minnesota Vikings, but they haven't shown that they can win those games. They've shown, again, the first Vikings game, it was, the final score is 2 points, but the game wasn't that close. Like, they got a touchdown late to make it seem closer than it actually was. It's not like they had the ball the way they did to try to take a lead against Philadelphia. They didn't. They never had an opportunity late in the game to actually win that one. But they just haven't shown that they can actually beat those teams. They can hang. Yeah, you can hang. But can you avoid the critical mistakes that are going to plague you and ultimately cost you?
But I don't know that you need to have shown that you can beat those teams at this point. That's why they play the games. That's why you're going to face another team in the division. That's why you're going to go on the road and have to play these tough, hostile environments. Like, that's why you play the games. And I guess I am looking at the things that they have done better and the improvements they have made from when we could be justifiably critical early in the season, when we could say, Jordan, what the hell are you doing? What kind of decision was that by the QB? You know, what kind of drop was that? Guys, catch the ball. And I know that there are still criticisms of Christian Watson and the way that he catches the ball and how he still kind of corrals it with his body. But you mentioned that was a great catch by him last night, pirouetting down the sideline, if you will. So my point is, I can see incremental improvement in all of these areas. I'm not going to let the fact that they took their foot off the gas. And again, I would like for it to have been locked in with when Geno Smith went out, because then it would be easier for me to justify. I could say, well, their starting quarterback went out. It was a foregone conclusion that the Packers were going to win that game. It was more of a formality than anything else. They took their foot off the gas, but they don't line up timeline-wise, right? They took the foot off the gas before Geno Smith was out of the game.
At the start of the second half, they took the foot off.
And that's why you are frustrated with the... God, where did my list go? I had the list. Punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, field goal, field goal. I got to go back to the Timothy Chalamet. If you missed that, you can find that on Wisconsin On Demand.
It was
wherever you get your podcast.
Punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt downs.
Say it again.
Punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt downs.
All right. I like yours. I like mine better than yours. Lots of people weighing in this morning.
It's what happened.
I know.
Just the facts of the game.
Lots of people weighing in this morning on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. And get the drop ready. Just get it ready for me, Will. Part-time Will. Get the drop ready for me, because the reaction is similar over and over again. Gabe, I know they won the Super Bowl, but I have concerns going forward. Punt, fumble, punt, time management, uniforms, etc. That's one reaction rolling in. Gabe is a Word you can't say on the radio. That coming from Nick. Nick is not happy with you this morning, Gabe. People are frustrated. Nick also saying Gabe is a poo-pooer. No team plays a full game with a couple of bad drives. Will someone give Donnie Downer his bottle and tuck him into bed? He sounds like my 4-year-old who needs a nap. That from Jeff in the 920.
Umbrella and say, tut-tut, it looks like rain.
You want me to lie about what this team is? I can't. I mean, I've got eyes. I watch what the other teams do. I watch what they did against the Detroit Lions.
Umbrella and say, tut-tut, it looks like rain.
Johnny Raincloud, we get it. Can we please enjoy the win for crumb's sake?
So I do enjoy the win. I get painted in this corner. I get thrown in this corner because I see, like, I'm just supposed to be happy with everything they do. You know what? It's okay that Matt LaFleur just completely botched the time management situation. That's okay, because I'm sure that won't ever come back to bite. You know what? Time management's never been a team in the history of the NFL.
But wouldn't you rather they make those mistakes now and then everybody put the spotlight on them so that you can address them, right? That's why coaches sometimes say, now I don't want them to lose games, but sometimes coaches say it is better to lose a game on the path to a championship because it reminds you that you still have work to do. It reminds you of the things that you're not good at or that can, as you just mentioned, trip you up in a win-or-go-home situation. I would much rather have that happen now than in the second week of the playoffs.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't fix everything is the problem. Like, there are things in every game, even the wins, that continuously pop up because they are the youngest team in the league. They are going to make mistakes. And that's why I don't have Super Bowl expectations. If we have Super Bowl expectations, if we don't, like, I can change. Like, I can change these. If we don't have Super Bowl expectations, then I can let some of these things go. But if the expectation, if you are a fan that is thinking Super Bowl or bust, then you have to look at this team with a more critical eye instead of just going, you know what, first half was great, that's all I need. No, you got to be more critical because there are teams that are waiting for you that aren't going to make most mistakes or have a healthy quarterback and be able to take advantage of you taking your foot off the gas.
And say, tut-tut, it looks like rain.
Gabe does too much national sports media, and now it's detoted him completely. That from Mike in Hadesburg. I thought this was a Victory Monday. Way too much negativity from Gabe. That from Chef Ed. Welcome to Negative Monday. Victory Monday is officially dead. Thank you, Johnny Raincloud. I will celebrate a great game in a tough place to play. Right. Great defensive performance. Another great job by Love, and the offense put up 30 points.
At least I feel good about this because I feel Tausch is on my side here. Last night on Green Bay game night, I feel like he summed it up in his opening statement that he does every night with Homer by saying that, because I don't think Tausch could, I could not agree with Tausch any more than when he said this.
Good win tonight. I'm not sure it's going to end up in the long run being all that meaningful from a playoff standpoint. And I don't think the way we played in the second half, we got that stamp of, well, we're all back. We're good. We're ready to roll. I don't think any of those things really were accomplished outside of what we saw in the first half tonight.
Because if you want to be that team that you're talking about, Jen, and I agree with Tausch, because the way you played in the second half, if you want to be that team that everybody fears, you keep that foot down. You do what Tampa Bay did against the Chargers. You score 40. That's what you do in the second half. That's how you become that hot team that nobody wants to see, is you eliminate these mistakes. And yeah, you're going to have that opportunity over the next 3, but you have to start eliminating these mistakes. A lot of them just keep popping up each and every game. Yeah, there's no such thing as a perfect game. Not every play you're going to call works. But I saw teams in the Rams put up 44 points not that long ago. The Buccaneers just put up 40 points. The Eagles are the most
Lions
complete team in the league.
Even in a loss.
Even in a loss, the Lions are putting up 40 points. Like, you put that foot down and you keep that accelerator. Go do what Matt LaFleur said all those years ago. All gas, no brake. Too often, we see them get that lead and become a little brake check, see what happens here.
David in the 262 saying, can somebody tell Gabe that the Packers actually won the game? That from David in Grafton. Johnny Raincloud, here he goes. The well played by Gabe Neitzel. That's talking out of both sides of your mouth.
Tut-tut, it looks like rain.
Jay weighing in saying, I agree with Gabe. Glad to hear a local radio guy actually be honest about the Packers. Ryan from Aguanago saying, Gabe is correct in his assessment of the green and gold.
Gabe is right.
We've
got a Gabe is right, right?
That drop.
Part-time Will? That wasn't? Okay.
I feel so bad for Gabe. People say he's either Johnny Raincloud or a toad. He's actually being reasonable. And then Brent saying, Gabe is Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Oh, bother. Look at you. You're victoring.
I am victoring.
You're over here like... taking a victory lap.
I've got the people that see, that understand what's going out there.
Justin says, can't we just have a nice victory Monday and get all of the criticism out in the next 4 freaking days? That's my complaint. Mondays already suck enough, Gabe. Look at Gabe just upping the suckage on Monday. He's increasing the suckage.
Chewy and Garfield, you hate Mondays? Love lasagna?
Johnny Raincloud, any given Sunday, anything can happen. And look at 2010. You would have probably been even more critical of that team. Not sure why you took on the anti-Packers persona.
It's not anti-Packers. That's the thing. It's not anti-Packers. So if you are even an ounce of critical against the Packers, it's anti? So you're going to tell me with a straight face, punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt, downs. You're going to tell me that that's fine with a straight face. Like, I'm not allowed to notice that? I just got to bury my head in the sand and pretend it didn't happen? Is that what I have to do? I just want to know what the standard is. Just somebody let me know what the standard is. And I guess if you want me to bury my head in the sand on punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt, downs, I can. I can bury my head and pretend like it didn't happen.
Omar weighing in saying, Hermano, I agree with you from your Puerto Rican brother. 30 points on the road is good. What are we doing here? A historically tough place to play that we haven't won at in a while. That from Justin. Football season is back, and I am excited to be back on campus with Celsius Energy Drink, which fuels my active lifestyle with its game day energy. Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Milroe, Travis Hunter, they all drink Celsius. Seems to be working out pretty well for at least a few of them. Explore all 27 refreshing flavors, sparkling or non-carbonated. There's a Celsius for every taste on game day. Stay active and energized all game day long with Celsius by your side. Celsius, live fit.
Say, tut-tut, it looks like rain.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We got some delays southbound 41 from Good Hope Road all the way down to Hampton, back on the brakes through the Capitol Drive area. Also delays southbound 43 from Hampton all the way to Locust. Westbound 94 hitting the brakes from 25th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is going to be slowing down from 76th Street through to 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Land Rover Waukesha. Get 3.9 special APR financing for up to 72 months on a new 2025 Range Rover Velar at Land Rover Waukesha. Go to LandRoverWaukesha.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Dense fog advisory until 9. Spotty sprinkles otherwise. Cloudy and mild, a high of 46. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. Weather's brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
'Tis the season for celebrating, so why not make your holiday gathering unforgettable? Give your team or clients an experience they'll talk about long after the new year with V Private Bar Services. Forget the same old office party. With custom cocktails tailored to your brand and a top-notch mixologist team, V Private Bar Services brings the magic of a high-end bar to your event. Make this holiday season extraordinary. Visit vprivatebar.com to book your premier party today. That's vprivatebar.com for your next unforgettable event.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here with Brad Nortman, and we've got a holiday deal from Quintessa Aesthetic Center that you don't want to miss.
That's right, Jen. The holidays are coming up fast, and if you're looking for the perfect gift for that special woman in your life, or maybe you're interested in checking out Quintessa for yourself, we've got you covered.
Now, through December 20th, for every $100 gift card you buy, you'll get a $20 bonus card. It's a once-a-year deal to make her holiday unforgettable or treat yourself.
Visit myquintessa.com today to grab this special offer.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. Better is right around the corner in 2025. Feeling better, that is. Getting rid of that joint pain once and for all. QC Kinetics is your solution to finally getting that joint pain relief that you are looking for. When I went to QC Kinetics, I found them to be incredibly accommodating, knowledgeable, and personal to be able to take what I was dealing with and put me on my own individualized plan to pain relief. So no matter what you're dealing with, shoulders, knees, hips, or back, it was back for me. The medical professionals at QC Kinetics are going to use all the tools in their tool belt to help give you that pain relief you've been looking for. So many things that allow you to feel your best for a brand new year. If you've been told surgery is your only or best option, you deserve a second opinion. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation to live your best life in 2025. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Bring in 2025 at American Place Casino. Join us for the Oztacular Countdown featuring $50,000 promotional drawings, merchandise giveaways, live entertainment, and more. They say seeing is believing, and at American Place Casino, you'll believe you found a real game changer. From table games to the hottest slots, plus dining, bars, and more, we've got it all. This New Year's Eve, let the celebration begin. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Big hurt.
I heard that's like, eh.
Ron and the Keywing and saying, you guys should slow down before you take on a sponsor.
Here I am.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Major points for Part-Time Will playing Part-Time Lover by Stevie Wonder, since that's what it made me think of when we called him Part-Time Will. I didn't know he had been promoted from Intern Will, but I suppose if he is back there running the board, Ashton, give me a nod. That means he has been promoted to a part-time employee.
You guys got to start reading your emails.
You can't run... no.
Again,
No.
you guys...
Well, let's just be honest, okay? The stuff I have on my plate this time of year, where do you think emails are going to fall on that list, guys? Down the list. Sort of like how Gabe is feeling about the Green Bay Packers. I'm kidding. I'm just playing the hits.
Incorrect hits.
Yeah, it's fine. Lots of reaction rolling in, guys. Lots of reaction rolling in, guys. There are a lot of people, Gabe, that agree with you and think that it's all well and good to celebrate a victory, but you still have to notice the things that the team does not do well in order to make sure that they can focus on them going forward. So I want to ask you this. If the Packers were to not have a stretch like they had last night against the Seahawks in their last two games, if they were able to put points on the board on every possession, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown, if they were able to take the ball away, maybe would that make you feel better about the fact that they improved on the things that showed up last night and could derail them down the stretch?
Honestly, for me, it was in the second half just kind of the lethargic nature. If you come out and you score a touchdown right away, like you force the punt right away, and then you go down and score, and right away you make it now 27-3. Okay, now you can take your foot off the gas. That thing's over. Like 20-3, it's still not over, especially in that building, as we've seen. So I think if they would have scored the touchdown earlier than they did off the interception from Edgerrin Cooper, okay, now I understand taking your foot off the gas. Like they just took the foot off the gas way too early last night, and that's the issue I have. Again, that when you couple what happened at the end of the first half, that I would have preferred that they came out with their urine hot, as Matt LaFleur likes to say. Like, okay, you made a mistake at the end of the first half. Make up for it by coming out on fire the way you did in the first half and put this game out of reach instead of kind of playing with your food and letting them hang around and still be in the game and making it 23-13. Just put them away. Put them away right away. Because if you don't, that's when good teams... The Seahawks, especially with Sam Howell at quarterback, are not going to be a good team. Like that's when that's going to burn you. And that's where I had the major issue of the way they kind of, even at the end of the first half, were starting to ease off the brake the way they mismanaged that 2-minute drill.
So our guy Joshua DiMaggio weighs in on the private text chain saying, I'm a Gabe guy. I want that on the record and abundantly clear. I agree with Gabe more than I disagree with him today. But, and that's in capital letters, has there been a positive mention that didn't come with a but? A little hypocritical of Joshy to throw a but in there and then say you can't use a but.
Yeah, right?
But
he's doing exactly what he was just railing on me about. Come on, yeah.
About us.
Yeah, I got intern Will on my side.
He's not intern Will anymore.
I demoted him because he didn't have a Gabe was right button.
Wow, high standards. You come in, first day behind the board, and he's like, why don't you have a drop specifically for me? So here's what I want to say then. All of the people who are weighing in, and there are many, 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 many people weighing in this morning on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line, 800-990-3776. Give us your reasons for optimism. Tell me why, because I'm over here carrying this bucket, guys. I'm carrying the mantle. I'm telling you, I'm optimistic. I have seen the improvement. I have seen them focus on things that could have tripped them up in previous games. Didn't really in a lot of them, but it has in some of them, particularly against the Lions, and change it. Do better, improve, evolve, all of those things for a growth mindset. I don't need them to play a perfect game against the Seahawks in week 15. I need them to continue improving on the things that could trip them up down the stretch and make sure that they are focused on them. Gabe is very, very frustrated about that stretch of the game where they had futile possessions. You rattle it off again because my list is wrong and I don't want to be wrong.
Punt, field goal, punt, fumble, punt downs.
Gabe is very frustrated about that stretch of the game where the Packers could have, should have done more. What are you optimistic about? Because again, people are saying Johnny Raincloud is exhausting on a victory Monday. Jonah says, Gabe, I agree with you. The Packers are a good team right now, but not a great team. That's not to say they haven't shown flashes of greatness, but they need to be more consistent, keep their foot on the gas for the whole game.
Yeah, 100%. If you want to make a playoff run, that's what you need to do. That's what you need to show. It's not just going to magically happen if you haven't done it before. And that's where, again, they'll have a great opportunity going on the road at Minnesota. That's going to be a great test to show, okay, the things that you learned against Seattle, now you get to show it off against Minnesota when you play the Vikings in a couple of weeks. You'll have that opportunity. It's not like the Packers are locked into where they are. They're going to be the 5 or 6. That's about the only thing. They'll clinch a playoff berth when they beat Seattle on Monday night, and they're in the playoffs. Like, we know what they are. We know where they're going to be. We know what the path is going to be. And in order to make a run on that path, these things have to get cleaned up. And for the record, Josh, there was no but. I said it was Christian Watson's greatest catch of his career, full stop, no but. That catch along the sideline, best catch of his career.
Can you also do that for the pass rush? Can you also do that for Edgerrin Cooper?
For Edgerrin Cooper. So Edgerrin Cooper's shown more where the pass rush has been. Jason pointed it out before. When you have 40 sacks, it's kind of like what Rashawn Gary did last year when he had 9.5 sacks and 6 of them came in 2 games. When you've got 40 sacks as a team and 15 are in 2 games, I'm not saying you got to get 7 sacks next week. But last week, they had 3 pressures and 1 sack. This week, 3 quarterback hits and a sack. This week, 7 and 12. Now, more of a happy medium, but there's got to be a more consistency to that pass rush and making quarterbacks uncomfortable.
So maybe for the rest of the show, we issue a no but clause. Okay? I don't want no buts. A but is a word. I got to work on it. I can't just off the top of my head. I can't just do it off the top of my head.
You've done that a couple of times to yourself where you just want to riff and then you're like, oh crap, what do I do?
That's okay. I'll work on the riffing during the break. The point is, we're going to try to not butt our way through the last 30 minutes of the show. We're going to try to say the things that the Packers did well without any caveat of, and look, I know that there is a loophole here. I know that there is a cheat code here. No howevers either.
Okay? Yeah, no buts, howevers. No, none of those. None of those.
More
going in there.
so? No, that's not is that a more so? But, however, I'll Google it. I'll synonym
all
it
the synonyms
through the thing.
So we're just going around the table and saying what we like about the Packers? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, I just think like it's a good reminder that this is a good team, that it is a top-tier team.
Josh Jacobs is a star.
Yes.
How about that? I mean, Josh Jacobs is undeniably a star. And again, the final numbers just don't do justice to the impact that he had on the game.
And just so we're clear, guys, the Packers fans, the loyal listeners, they're torn. I've got people who are 100% supportive of Gabe and his position, calling him a realist, saying you have to call out the things that go wrong in order to improve them. That's the first step. I've got people who are saying, Gabe, what the bleep? Sick of your Victory Monday attitudes? It runs the gamut. We are across the spectrum here, pinging on all the sides. But, no! Starts after this. The butt thing starts after this.
Starts now.
It starts now. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Continue after this. Hey, all you sports bettors, if you aren't making your wagers at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you are missing out on an elite experience. Honestly, it's a sports betting paradise. They have figured it all out. If you are not hanging out at the brand new sportsbook, you are missing out. Bet above the rest only at Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We got some backups along eastbound 94 coming in from 76th Street all the way to 35th. The westbound side slowing down from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 43 backing up from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive to about Locust. Southbound 41 is slowing down from Silver Spring down to Hampton. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Dense fog advisory until 9. Spotty sprinkles. Cloudy and mild otherwise with a high of 46. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 30. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The president of James Imaging Systems, Tom Tegeter.
Over 45 years ago, my father, James Tegeter, founded our company on a cornerstone of quality, integrity, and service as the best way of connecting with clients. As I reflect on 2024, I'm grateful for the James Imaging Systems team. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to always connecting with clients and helping them thrive. To each long-term client, I extend my gratitude and thanks for your confidence and support. We look forward to remaining connected to you as your local business technology partner. I also appreciate our new 2024 clients for connecting with us. Welcome to the James Imaging Systems family. Looking forward to 2025, I believe if each of us embraces the power of connection, our local community will prosper. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and God bless America.
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde, and I have the perfect gift idea for you. A custom holiday gift box filled with all your Kringle favorites from Racine Danish Kringles. There's no wrapping needed, and this season you can try their newest holiday pastry, Eggnog Kringle, created to bring festive cheer to your celebration. Filled with rich, creamy eggnog and topped with sweet icing and a sprinkle of cinnamon, it's perfect for sharing with loved ones. Go to Kringle.com to order or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, it's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 200 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states and is the best place to get real money sports action. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You know how much I love and trust X Golf with my golf game. Whether we're talking about Brookfield or Mequon, the state-of-the-art simulators, the custom golf clubs they can build, the lessons you can get from their PGA pros. Secretly, one of my favorite things is after my round. In fact, most Fridays, you can find me in Brookfield at the bar enjoying a nice cold drink, maybe having some of the food that they have from their incredible menu. This can happen for you too. Go to xgolfbrookfield.com or xgolfmequon.com to book your tee time today.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's 2 things she counts in the house. One of the pictures. What do you think the other one is?
Firearms.
on 94.5 ESPN.
We love Palermo's Pizza here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You got to make sure you're loaded up, especially during the holiday season. You're going to be cooking some of these big meals, big family gatherings, and after that, look, you're probably going to still want something that tastes great, and it's not going to take that much effort. That's where Palermo's comes in, and with all the brands they have. Palermo's, Urban Pie, Connie's, Surfer Boy Pizza, Screamin' Sicilian. I had a neighborhood pizzeria yesterday while I was watching the game. Like, they're going to find a slice that fits your appetite, your family's appetite, because Palermo's has been making premium quality frozen pizza right here in Milwaukee and Wisconsin for over 60 years. So find them in your grocer's frozen food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Play 10 of the drive, third and goal. Jacobs inside, into the end zone. Wow. Opening drive, touchdown, Green Bay.
No more BUTS. Looking for positives as the show rolls on.
Okay, so more impressive catch, Dobbs or Watson? That's positive, right? Two really good plays, two great catches.
How about this? Push.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You got to pick one.
Why? Because picking one means that one was less amazing than the other. I'm going to say push because we are positive. We are optimistic. We are lifting spirits this morning.
It's a cop-out.
On Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Sure. Not going to agree with that. How about this? Never thought I would say this, but Chewy would really hold this show together today. Victory Monday with Jen singing feels like a loss. That from Lasagna in the 262.
Man, that's harsh.
Rude.
That's harsh.
Rude. I might sing a little more.
Please don't.
Also rude. You asked me what I was doing on Wednesday when I wasn't here. I was at the Rose Bowl. And the Rose Bowl is an incredible place. Wisconsin fans know we used to go there. Rude.
I thought we were being positive. Not just taking shots at the Badger football team.
So Gabe knows what I was doing. I was shooting a commercial. Now, Part-Time Will, that's where you play a sounder.
We have breaking news.
That'll work. It's fine. I was looking for like a... There, thank you. How about, do you like me doing the sounders or do you like me singing? Which is better?
The
Which is
sounders
preferred?
are better than the singing.
Okay.
Your sound effect, again, the sound effects you make, I think are definitely a highlight of the show.
Okay, good to know. So maybe from now on, I'll just make the sounders myself. Yeah. So I was shooting a commercial for Allstate. You guys have seen the commercials, the Allstate commercials, Gabe, right? You've seen the ones where people are making mistakes. You should have checked. Checking is good. You should check first.
Guy shows up at the Oregon tailgate with like a duck.
Let's roast this baby. Yeah. Or the guy who's like, high tide. High tide. High tide.
I honestly have to change the channel.
So
it's the third or fourth high tide just make me uncomfortable.
The girl's like, it's roll tide. And then she pulls the tag off of his hat because he clearly just purchased it. So I shot an Allstate commercial where I am a sideline reporter. I know it was a big leap. It was a big stretch. It was very hard for me to act my way through this one. And I didn't check, essentially. And so I don't want to give away the punchline or give away the vibe of it. But I am, the person who kind of erred in my preparation, if you will. Which, look, you guys work with me. That's not that far of a stretch either.
So when are we going to see this commercial? Are we going to see it this weekend?
Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl.
So we got to wait for the next round.
Yes, Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Allstate with Jen. I got my own trailer. Hair and makeup, that's not that
really?
Yeah, my own trailer.
Wait, so you walked in, there was a trailer that said Jen Ladd on.
Not only was there a trailer, they go, we got you a moho. And I go, a what?
That's what's saying. What the
right? Like
I'm like
a little uncomfortable,
yeah,
right?
I don't know what a moho is.
Am I supposed to be excited about that? Do we keep it under the radar? Are we
good for you?
So nothing like showing you're a commercial rookie than when someone says to you, we got you a moho, and being like, I don't know what that is, right? Like, because a seasoned veteran of shooting commercials probably knows what a moho is.
Somebody
it's a
like
motor.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Correct. I'm sure Kirk Herbstreit knows what a moho is. But I was like, a mojito? I'd like one of those. No.
I'll take one.
A moho is short for a motor home. So I had my own trailer, had my own hair and makeup. We went through wardrobe, picked out an outfit. And then, guys, I must have done 100 takes. 100 takes.
You were too professional? They were looking for you to mess up and you were just too professional?
I was so good. They were like, we're going to need to see that again. And again. And again. So the old...
Herb Brooks was the director of this commercial?
Tough. It was tough. There were
Again!
A lot, exactly.
Again!
Miracle on ice, exactly. But again, by the end of the day, I was exhausted but very fulfilled. I've never shot a full-blown commercial before. Like, this was a first for me.
So I guess I just assumed because you had the podcast with Mercedes and everything you did last year, I assumed that there was a commercial that went along with that.
That's a very good point. It was like a YouTube commercial. Not that that's different. It was still like a full-blown production and whatnot, and take, action, snapping the thing. But this was an Allstate commercial that will air for the Rose Bowl. And, now I'm going to be even more difficult to work with, right? Like, because before it was like, sometimes she can be tough to work with. But now that I'm a big-time commercial superstar, I'm going to be completely...
So do we have to get you a moho to put you out on, like, Wisconsin Avenue every morning?
That would be a great start, Gabe.
Okay.
That'd be a great start. What else you got? You know what they did come to me and say? They said, what would you like on your rider? And again, I was like... My what?
Got a lawnmower?
Right? Like, my rider. What? But a rider is that list of things that celebrities put together when they do an event, right? And they'll be like, oh, I want Skittles, but only the green ones.
Oh, sure.
And I think I've told you guys this. On game day, occasionally we will have people who put together pretty exhaustive riders. And I think I can say this now. I think the statute of limitations has expired on this. But when we had... my brain just stopped. Why did my brain just stop? Migos. Migos? Is that a person? Migos? That's a group, right? Thank you. Hey, part-time Will back there. You're the youngin' on the show. I need you to cover these bases for me. Migos had a ridiculous rider. They asked us for T-shirts. They asked us for underwear. Asked for, like Hanes, white, boxer briefs. Like, what are you doing on the shoot that you need new underwear, gang? They asked for... charging cords. So you're just having people supply you with charging cords for your, I should pull it up. I have it in my phone. It was like 3 pages of demands of things they wanted in their dressing room for their appearance on College game day.
So what made your rider list?
Nothing. I didn't put one together.
Come on, Jen. You couldn't put one thing on there? Like, hey, I just want all peanut M&Ms.
What would you have put on the rider?
Well, I would assume that you would maybe want your Celsius,
that's a good one.
You could have had Celsius on there.
What else? Gabe is putting that. So here's what I'm...
Chewy
uses you. Chewy uses you as his assistant. Now you're my rider assistant.
Yeah. The problem is, like, you have everything you need in your Mary Poppins bag.
That's a very good point.
And, again, the list of things that we have found in there is also very extensive.
Very good point.
So I don't know, maybe somebody just to organize your bag. Is that something you could put on the list?
What would you put on a rider, part-time Will? If they said, what do you need in your dressing room for this? It was from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. What do you need? What do you want? You can put anything on it you want.
I'm a simple guy. I just need like a cup of coffee or something like that. Something to wake me up.
You didn't even ask for that.
I'm simple. I'm easy.
I didn't even ask for coffee.
Well, how much time did you spend in the moho?
Hair and makeup, and then we had an hour lunch mandated. That's like union type stuff.
Yeah, sure.
So an hour for lunch, and then I got changed afterwards and got in the car and went to the airport.
Did you get to make a request of what you wanted for lunch?
They had craft services. That was the other thing. Like, they have a full spread, and there was some Chinese food, and there was some sushi, and there was some burgers, and it was a lot of options. So yeah, I got to pick out my lunch, which was nice.
Did somebody deliver it to the moho for you? Somebody get me lunch. I'll take it back in the moho.
Yes, somebody got me lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, I was ready to go. I was like, the sooner we can keep going, the better, the better off we'll be towards the end of the day. And they were like, no, it has to be exactly, you are mandated for 1 hour lunch because the crew is all union and that's all part of their,
that's part of their
contract. Deal. Correct. Exactly. So
did you get like a hat? Did you get any swag? Because you can put that on the list. I know you love, especially whenever you go someplace, caps. You like to come back with a hat.
Did not get a cap. Should have got a cap. What would it say? Allstate?
Yeah. Allstate Rose Bowl.
No. High Tide.
High Tide?
I would wear a hat that says High Tide. That'd be amazing. Let's toast this baby. So my thing was massive update, guys. Like I was reporting, on the game. And then there's obviously an issue because I didn't check. As you know, checking is good according to Allstate. So Chris wants to know, will there be outtakes for the commercial? Wondering which quote-unquote magic words you said on set. I didn't. I don't think I cursed at all.
No one believes you. Like, you're telling me you didn't flub one line and at least just go, son of a biscuit?
Not once. Nope. Didn't do a son of a anything. Just smiled and went back to my mark. And then we did action again, and then I delivered the line, and then I actually delivered the line well. There were.
Why did you need 100 takes?
Great question, Gabe. It's a great question.
I assumed you needed 100 takes because you were screwing up at some point.
Somebody sent me a video of, what's the movie with Katherine Heigl where she gets pregnant? Is it Knocked Up? Okay, so who did she play opposite in that one?
Seth Rogen.
He was in it, but there was another guy who was in it, or maybe we got fired at some point. But one of those other guys from like that McLovin. Anyway,
yeah. So Jason Segel's in that movie.
They sent me a video of a guy just losing his bleep on set, and he was
Bill O'Reilly style.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to you guys so you can see it. But he's basically like, that take was perfect. Why are we doing the take again? How do you want me to deliver it? I keep doing it the way you're telling me to deliver it, and you keep telling me it's wrong. So can you please give me some? Anyway, somebody sent it to me and was like, "Was this you? Was this how you handled things on the set? Because you do have a short fuse, Jen, and you have a way of getting frustrated about things." So no, the answer is no. I was pleasant. I was nice. I delivered my lines, and I got out of there. So that's where I was on Wednesday. There you go. Nice work, part-time Will. We'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Lots of stuff to still get to in the final segments of the show. But first, guys, I want to tell you about Accutrans, and then Gabe is going to tell you about something as well. Accutrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. Weddings, group events, corporate travel, whatever it is, guys, go to AccuTransGroup.com for reliable and safe transportation. Gabe?
It is college hockey season, and it is returning to Fiserv Forum. It is the 4th annual Quick Trip Holiday Faceoff, December 28th and 29th. The Wisconsin Badgers return to defend their title. They're facing the Ferris State Bulldogs in semifinal action day 1. Yukon Huskies and Alaska Fairbanks Nanooks are battling for the other spot in that championship game as well. Get your seats today at Ticketmaster.com or be caller number 4. Caller 4 right now to 800-990-3776 wins 4 tickets to the Saturday, December 28th games at Fiserv Forum. Caller 4, 800-990-3776.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Homer here to tell you about Rawhide Youth Services. Co-founded in 1965 by Bart and Cherry Starr, Rawhide is a faith-based nonprofit that helps thousands of youth every year, many right here in Milwaukee, overcome trauma, suicidal thoughts, and live better lives. For youth who are hurting, who feel lost or abandoned, and families feeling powerless to help them, Rawhide is there to help. They also need vehicle donations to support their mission of helping hurting youth transform their future. Donate to Rawhide Youth Services. Visit rawhide.org/donate.
Kevin Moret for Mentality Men's Health. I know that a guy's confidence comes from many sources. For our clients, the way they look is a big driver. When you have the muscle mass and the muscle tone, it changes the way you carry yourself. Did you know that 70% of Mentality clients have increased muscle mass and muscle tone through testosterone and peptide therapy? Their confidence is back and everyone can see it. If you want to recapture the way you look and felt years ago, join the over 25,000 clients and start today. In Milwaukee, go to lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com.
Have you seen them yet?
Seen what?
4 different ways to say I love you.
I'd love to see those. Show me the list.
What list?
The list of 4 different ways to say I love you.
Let's start over.
Where are you going, Monica?
I'm going to get the 4 different ways to say I love you.
Sarah, imagine a box of assorted chocolates.
Okay.
When you open the lid, what do you see?
I see a guy sitting on a park bench saying, "Life is like a box of chocolates."
But what are the shapes of the chocolates?
There are 4 different shapes.
Here they are.
Those are gorgeous.
4 diamond pendants covered in diamonds.
Almost like they were dipped in diamonds.
And each diamond was created inside a miniature star.
But you'd have to be rich to afford one of these.
Choose the diamond pendant you like best. $148.
I love Kessler's.
Everyone loves Kessler's.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
On the actual day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a 12-pack of Lakefront, 11 Gyms of Beaming, 10 Royals Crowning, 9 Johnny's Walking, 8 Wines of Sparkling, 7 Miller's Lighting, 6 Geese of Graying, 5 Chardonnays, 4 Spotted Cows, 3 Cabernets, 2 gift cards from just one trip to Discount Liquor.
Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But she doesn't know. Every now and then, I got the blammer coming up and I'll let you use my tractor for 2 of the blue things. Which I think's a pretty good deal, which gets me in trouble.
You got a Viagra ring?
Yeah. On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
It is Victory Monday, brought to you by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza, with delicious brands like Palermo's, Connie's, Urban Pie, and Screamin' Sicilian. Palermo's has your game day covered. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer.
It's intercepted. That time it's caught by Cooper. Andrew Cooper inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. So Cooper had his hands on one earlier. Secures his first NFL INT.
Lots of stuff happening this morning on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and we have folks weighing in with riders. Dennis, who I believe has told us before he is in the music industry, talked about Axl Rose, says once demanded a square melon and a porcelain toilet. Madonna required a brand new toilet seat for every venue and wanted 20 international phone lines in her dressing room. Kanye West demanded his chauffeur wear 100% cotton clothing to avoid using wool or man-made fibers. So I didn't do any of those things. And then we have an update on the scene that I was talking about. So I was telling you about a knocked up scene that I had seen on social media, and we figured out the actor was Michael Cera.
Correct.
But you said it's a fake.
Yeah, that's fake. So Judd Apatow was the director of that film. Apparently he did a mockumentary that was a DVD extra where he had a number of different actors, trying to pretend that they were trying to find the right one before they landed on Seth. Seth Rogen was always the actor, and then they had some fun, apparently, with some fake outtakes that made this mockumentary.
Because you saw it, he's like losing his mind because he's like, I do high energy, you tell me it's bad. I do low energy, you tell me it's bad. What do you want from me? And he's like, who's directing this film? And that.
Yeah, I think that's what tipped me off when he went, who's directing this? And Judd Apatow went, maybe you should direct yourself. I'm like, okay, this back and forth is very obviously fake.
Let's recap and revisit something we talked about a little earlier in the show, which is tonight the Vikings and Bears are facing off in Monday Night Football, and the Packers are still chasing the Vikings thanks to that loss earlier this season. So we're going to say the uncomfortable thing. We're going to say the thing out loud, which is that we want the Vikings to lose.
Correct.
Which the byproduct of that would be.
We said we weren't doing any more buts. The byproduct of that, therefores, we're not doing that. Howevers, we're not doing any of that. We want the Vikings to lose, period, full stop.
What would have to happen in order for that?
The Vikings are losing, and that is the result that we are rooting for, period, full stop.
And that means...
You're the one who set this rule. This isn't my rule, Jen. You set this rule earlier today.
I haven't said the BUT word. I'm just trying to lead the horse to water.
You're using the
if
words.
If you are hoping for the Vikings to lose tonight's game, that does mean in turn the other side of the coin is.
No, I'm not rooting for that. I am just rooting for the Vikings to lose. There is a difference. There's a very big difference.
Part-time Will, tonight. Who do you want to win Monday Night Football?
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of on Gabe's bad side right now. So I'm going to root for the Vikings to lose.
Yep. That's the correct answer. Part-time Will.
Again, strange bedfellows and whatnot as the season is winding down, where we find ourselves in a position where you have to root for the other team that the Vikings are playing tonight, who shall not be named on this very program, but hopefully by tomorrow they will be celebrating a victory and the Vikings will have lost. Thanks for hanging out with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Wilde and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.
Eastbound on 94, just a little bit of a tap of the brakes from about Hawley Road all the way to 35th Street.